Unit 2, Level 3, Reading 1. Okay, so we're looking at page 28, Reading 1, Knowing Your Taste. You are going to read an article from a food magazine about why people like and dislike certain foods. Use the article to gather information and ideas for your unit assignment. Okay, the first one, preview the reading. Exercise A, preview. Read the title and headings, then look at the pictures. The author has two main reasons for writing the article. Check the two reasons. So in this exercise, you are going to get your information from the article, right? You are going to look for two reasons, two main reasons for writing the article, and you are going to check the correct box. Exercise B, quick write. What is an important food or dish in your culture? Write for 5 to 10 minutes in response. Be sure to use this section for your unit assignment. Right, exercise C is the vocabulary. Check the words you know, then work with a partner to locate each word in the reading. Use clues to help define the words you don't know. Check your definitions in the dictionary. Now they have provided you with vocabulary, right? It's in this block over here. They have even told you whether it's an adjective or verb or adverb or any other sort of phrase. So basically what you have to do, it says check the words you know. So first, before you look at any dictionary or search through any dictionary for the word, you are going to go through each word in this block, and you are going to check whether you understand the word, right? Then it says use clues to help define the words you don't know. Now, for example, you can take the word maybe identify or recognize, and you can maybe use it in a sentence to see if you know how the word works in a sentence. That can also help you to better understand the word. For example, you can say, I recognize my friend. Okay, I identify my people. I identify my friend. You can use any example from any one of these words. That's why it says use clues to help define the words you don't know. Lastly, it says check your definitions in the dictionary. So basically, you are going to work with these words, right? Once you are finished using the words, by checking whether you understand the words, you are then going to check your definitions in the dictionary. So for example, if I had taken the word identify or recognize or system, and I made a sentence with that word, and I wanted to now see whether the word makes sense in the sentence, I will now take the word that I have chosen and I will check the definition in the dictionary. This helps you with usage of the word as well. So in this vocabulary, exercise C, I'm going to read the instructions one more time. It says check the words you know, then work with a partner to locate each word in the reading. Right, so basically all of these words are probably going to be found in the reading. As you can see, just by looking at this page, you can see the word recognize and you can see the word recognize. It is a verb, right? So it says check the words you know, then work with a partner to locate each word in the reading. Obviously, you do not need to work with a partner. You can do this exercise by yourself. It says use clues to help define the words you don't know. So say for example, you didn't know the word typically, right? Now you are going to use any other clue. Maybe you've heard the word typically in a movie, maybe you've heard it in conversation before. So you are going to use the word typically and you are going to try to understand what it means, right? Use clues to help define the words you don't know. So you can take the word typically and you can make your own sentence, right? So when you are finished, you are going to check your definition in the dictionary, right? This helps you also with solving problems. It's also going to help you to maybe understand a word better, Right, so let's turn over to the next page. Now this is where the reading is. It says work with the reading. Exercise A. Read the article and gather information about what makes food taste good. So basically this reading is called Knowing Your Tastes, right? And they give you many different headings here: food likes and dislikes, how the tongue works, right? So it talks about foods that people probably like, foods that people don't like. The next heading, number 2, how the tongue works. So this explains to you how the tongue works. You have to read through it. Non-tasters, medium tasters, super tasters, right? Then we have number 4, different worlds for different tasters. Number 5, super tasters, non-tasters, and diet. Right, so this is the article that you have to read. I would suggest that you read this article more than once. Let's turn over to the next page. Right, as you can see, the article continues. Reading 1 continues on the next page, page 30. Right, then below that, exercise B, vocabulary. Complete each sentence with the vocabulary from reading 1. You may need to change the form of the word or phrase to make the sentence grammatically correct. Right, now this is another exercise which is based on vocabulary. Right, so it says complete each sentence with the vocabulary from reading 1. So basically all of this vocabulary in this block is taken from reading 1. Now, in some of these words that are provided in this block, you are going to maybe have to change the word grammatically, right? So let's look at number 1. I did not something the taste of the dessert at first. It took me a minute to realize that it tasted like pistachios, right? So I did not, and you can choose your correct word, right? You're obviously going to choose one of these words. So say for example, the answer is recognize, right? I did not recognize the taste of the dessert at first. It took me a minute to realize that it tasted like pistachios. So if the answer is recognize, I will take the word recognize and I will write it here. There is no need to change it to past tense, right? Because obviously did not already makes it into past tense, right? So you are going to complete this exercise in the same manner. So say for example number 2. Number 2, we need to take one of these words, and the question is water, something, hydrogen and oxygen, right? So for example, let's say we take one of these words. Sometimes you might need to change the word to the past tense, right? You might need to change the word to the past tense to complete the sentence. Sometimes you might not need to change the word. So once again, let's read through the instruction, because as you can see, it's quite self-explanatory. Vocabulary: complete each sentence with the vocabulary from reading 1. You may need to change the form of the word or phrase to make the sentence grammatically correct, right? Now once again, if you do not understand how to complete this exercise, I would suggest trying to read this instruction, and sometimes you need to read the instruction more than once, right? You may need to read the instruction maybe 3 times or 4 times just to understand how to properly do this exercise. So once again, I'm going to explain how to do this exercise. Exercise B, vocabulary. Complete each sentence with the vocabulary from reading 1. So all of this vocabulary in this block is from reading 1. You are going to use this vocabulary to complete this exercise. You may need to change the form of the word or phrase to make the sentence grammatically correct. Now, in some of these words, you may need to change, it says the word or phrase, right? You may need to change it maybe to past tense. In some cases, you may need to just keep it the same, right? So that is basically how you will complete this exercise. Let us now move on to the next page. Right, the exercise continues on page 31 up until number 9. Right, exercise C. Now this is something you will do online with your Q Skills account. Exercise C says go online for more practice with the vocabulary. Exercise D. Circle the answer to each question. Number 1. What is the main idea of the article? Now once again, you will get your answer from reading 1, right? So what is the main idea of the article? You will just look at one of these answers and you will put a circle around the answer that you feel is the correct answer. So say for example, answer for number 1 is A. I will take my pen or pencil, I will put a circle around answer A, right? Once again, circle the answer to each question. You will read the question, number 1, and then you will choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. Where will you get your information? You will get your information from reading number 1. Right, let us turn over to page number 32. Right, we're going to look at exercise E. Exercise E, answer the questions. Write the paragraph number where the answer is found. Then discuss your answers with a partner. Now, in exercise E, right, once again, my advice is to read the instructions a few times, not read the instruction once and just attempt the exercise. So let us go through the instruction. Answer the questions, right? These are the questions. Write the paragraph number where the answer is found. So right here where they have the word paragraph, you are going to write the number of the paragraph. Once again, all of this information will be taken from reading number 1. Answer the questions, write the paragraph number where the answer is found, then discuss your answers with a partner. Now this last part, you do not have to do. You do not have to discuss your answers with a partner. You can simply read through the entire reading 1 and you can check your answer. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, what 4 tastes can taste buds identify? Right? So you are going to look at the paragraph that talks about taste buds, right? And you are going to write the paragraph number here, right? And then you are going to write your answer over here. So say for example number 1, let's just say the answer comes from paragraph number 1, right? So I will write number 1 over here where it says paragraph, and then I will write the answer. The answer should be what 4 taste buds, right? What 4 tastes can taste buds identify? So what 4 tastes, right? I will write my answer over here. And then I will continue and do number 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the same manner. Number 2, the same thing. How many taste buds do non-tasters have? I will write the answer here, which paragraph. Say for example it comes from paragraph number 1. I will write number 1 over here, and below that I will write my answer. So what is the question? The question is, how many taste buds do non-tasters have? Let's just say that the answer is 4 or 5, right? I will write my answer over here, and I will write which paragraph it came from over here. Paragraph number 1, paragraph number 2, paragraph number 3. You will write the paragraph number here, answer over here. Right, so that is how you will complete exercise E. Right, let us now move on. Exercise F. Find these sentences in the article, then circle the answer to each question. Now, if you look at exercise F, I would also suggest that you read the instruction more than once, right? So exercise F says, find these sentences in the article, then circle the answer to each question. Right, let's look at number 1. Right, number 1 tells you, paragraph 3, although all humans have taste buds, we do not all have the same number of them. Who or what does them refer to? Right? Now, the word them, does it refer to humans? Does it refer to taste buds? Does it refer to non-tasters? Right? So in this particular exercise, right, all you will do is you will take the word, right, which is written in bold like this, the first one, them. Let's read the sentence, right? So this is taken from paragraph number 3. Although all humans have taste buds, we do not all have the same number of them. Now, what are we talking about in this particular sentence? We are talking about the taste buds, right? So answer number 1 should be taste buds. Now, because I know the answer now, I will now take my pen or pencil and I will put a circle around B, right? So as you can see, I will do number 1 for you again. Right, let's look at this exercise F. Find these sentences in the article, then circle the answer to each question. So it tells you firstly which part of reading 1 you can find the answer. You can find it in paragraph number 3. Right, the sentence is, although all humans have taste buds, we do not all have the same number of them. Who or what does them refer to? The answer we said was B, taste buds, right? In this particular sentence, we are talking about taste buds, right? So the correct answer, I will take my pen or pencil and I will put a circle around taste buds. Right, so that is how you will complete exercise F. Let us now move on to page 33. You will complete number 4 and number 5 in the same order, right? You will put a circle around your correct answer. Right, let us move on to exercise G. Right, so exercise G, it says answer these questions, then compare your answers with a partner. Now, this is something that you have to give an answer for. Let us look at number 1. Medium tasters have about 10,000 taste buds. How many taste buds do super tasters have? Now you will write your answer. Let's just say your answer is maybe 15,000 taste buds, right? For example. So you will write your answer over here, right? So this, once again, this particular exercise, I would suggest you read the instruction to the exercise. You read it more than once. Answer these questions, then compare your answers with a partner. You do not have to compare your answers with a partner. You can simply, when you finish answering these questions, you can go back to the article and you can check your answer, right? So all of these particular questions, you can find your answers in the reading 1, right? So let us move on to the next exercise, which is H, right? Go online to read the grapefruit diet and check your comprehension. Right, so this is something where it says write what you think. Exercise A, right? Discuss these questions in a group. So obviously exercise H, this previous one, you are going to go online. So if you have a Q Skills account, it says go online to read the grapefruit diet and check your comprehension, right? So we're going to move on with exercise A. Discuss these questions in a group. Do you think you are a non-taster, medium taster, or super taster, and why? So obviously this is something which you will not do in a group. you can simply think about the question, right? And you can write down your own answer, right? So I'm going to show you the answer key for this particular exercise, because many of these questions can be opinion based, right? So this is the answer key, right? So as you can see, this is how the answers can vary, right? It says write what you think, A, B, right? So it says answers may vary. Possible answers: number one, I think I'm a non-taster because I eat everything. I like very spicy food. I also like very sweet and fatty foods. My favorite foods are desserts and fried foods. I also like strong coffee. Now, whoever wrote this is their opinion. So obviously, let's look at the first question, right? Do you think you are a non-taster, medium taster, or super taster? Why? Right? And then the person wrote their answer, right? Which is opinion based. So you are going to do the same for each one of these questions. You are going to read the question, whether it's number 1, 2, and 3, and you are going to write down, you are going to think about your personal preference, your answer, and then afterwards you can write it down, right? You can compare your answers with the reading. Right, let us move on to exercise B. Choose one question and write a paragraph in response. Look back at your quick write on page 28 as you think about what you learned. Right, so once again, exercise B, I would suggest you read the instruction more than once. Right, so what does the question say? It says choose one question and write a paragraph in response. Look back at your quick write on page 28 as you think about what you learned. Right, so this, I'm going to show you the answer key as well. Oh, okay, so this is basically the same answer key. So in this particular question, it is also opinion based, right? Your answer doesn't have to be word for word from the reading. It says choose one question and write a paragraph in response. So you're going to choose one of the questions, right? It can be any one of the 3 questions. Look back at your quick write on page 28. You're going to look back at your quick write as you think about what you learned. So basically in this question you are going to write about what you think you learned, right, from the entire reading. Right, let us now move on. Right, so the reading skill. Let me zoom in for you. Right, reading skill, previewing a text. Previewing means looking through a text quickly to find the topic and main ideas before you read the whole text. Previewing gives you a general understanding of the reading first, which will help you when you read the whole text from beginning to end. When you preview, the goal is to predict what the text is going to talk about. Previewing usually includes these steps: reading the title and subtitles, reading the first and last paragraphs, looking at the photographs and pictures. After you preview a text, you should be able to answer these questions. What is the topic of the reading? What ideas are discussed in the reading? Right, so these are the questions that you should be able to understand, you should be able to preview, right? Right, so this is also another instruction which you need to read more than once. Let's have a look at exercise A. Look at reading 2. Follow these steps as you preview the text. Right, so basically, just by reading the instruction, it says look at reading 2. So that tells you that you are going to get all of your answers from reading number 2. Look at reading 2. Follow these steps as you preview the text. Step 1. Read the title and subtitles. So number one, what is the title of the reading? Right, let us go to the reading. Right, so there is the reading, the beginning of the reading. Immediately you can see the title, right? Read the title and subtitles. What is the title of the reading? So obviously you will find the title of the reading right at the beginning or right at the top of the reading. Question number two, there are four headings within the reading. What are they? So as you can see, they have given you the first answer, right? The first answer is food, balance, and culture. Immediately in the example, they have written food, balance, and culture. Now, the next one, the next title will be written in the same order, and it will be probably numbered as number 2 because this is number 1. So that is how you will answer this particular questions. Reading number 1, what is the title of the reading? That will be at the top, Finding Balance in Food. You can write that over here. There are four headings within the reading. What are they? I have shown you. This is the headings that are within the reading. You can write it over here. There should be four of them. They have given you the first one. Right, let's look at step 2. Look at the photographs and pictures. Look at the photo and picture. What are they of? Once again, step 2, you have to go through the reading and you have to look at the photographs and pictures, and you will write your answer over here. Step number 3, read the first and last paragraphs. Read the paragraphs quickly, underline the topic sentence of each paragraph, right? So step number 3, read the first and last paragraphs. Read the paragraphs quickly, underline the topic sentence of each paragraph. Exercise B, what is the topic of the reading? Once again, you will find it at the top. What is the topic of the reading? You will write your answer over here. Exercise C, what ideas are discussed in the reading? Now once again, this is a question that you have to read through the entire reading, right? So this one, what ideas are discussed in the reading? You can say that your answer is they discuss food, they discuss nutrition, they discuss finding a balanced diet. There's many answers that you can write for this particular question, right? To help you out with this question, I will show you the answer key for C, right? So that is the answer key. Right, let us move on. The last one, exercise D, go online for more practice previewing a text. So once again, this is something, if you have a Q Skills account, you can go online for more practice previewing a text. So this will help you to understand better how to preview a text, right? And it will give you practice. Right, let us move on to page number 35. Right, reading 2, finding balance in food. You are going to read an article from an online journal about how culture can affect people's food choices. Use the article to gather information and ideas for your unit assignment. So once again, I have shown you where the article is. This is the article, which obviously continues on page number 36. Right, let's move on. Right, so exercise A, which is the preview. What do you already know about this topic? Share your ideas with a partner. You do not need to share your ideas with a partner. You can simply take a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen, and you can write down your ideas. What do you already know about this topic? So what do you know about nutrition? What do you know about diet or dieting? What do you know about healthy food? You can write any one of those things based on the topic. Exercise B, quick write. What is your definition of a balanced diet? Write for 5 to 10 minutes in response. Be sure to use this section for your unit assignment. Now this is also something which is very important. Right, so this is basically the quick write. So immediately it tells you you should write for about 5 to 10 minutes in response, right? So the question is, what is your definition of a balanced diet? Now, what do you feel is a balanced diet, right? Is it maybe following maybe some sort of vegan diet, some sort of ketogenic diet, right? So you can write what is your definition of a balanced diet. You should write for about 5 to 10 minutes. This will help you to improve um, your writing skills, as well as improve your grammar, improve a lot of stuff that is based on this topic, right? Even your understanding on the topic, right? This can also help you with understanding how to answer a question based on a particular topic, right? So what is your definition of a balanced diet? This topic is obviously talking about food and diet and nutrition, right? So you want to stick to that topic. Exercise C, vocabulary. Work with a partner to find the words in the reading, right? So once again, you do not need to work with a partner. You can simply do it by yourself. Circle clues in the text that help you understand the meaning of each word. Then use a dictionary to define any unknown words. Right, so this is something where you are going to go through the reading, right? And you are going to circle any clues in the text, right, that you find. So the idea of circling any clues is going to help you to better understand the meaning of each word. So let's go through the vocabulary. The first one, concept, right? You are going to go through the reading and you are going to look for the word concept, and you are going to circle any clue that will help you better understand the meaning of the word, right? So the next one, consume. The next one, cuisine. Influence, method, portion, practice, principle, property, region, right? So as you can see, next to each one of these words, they have even told you what the word is. For example, the first one, concept, is a noun. They have told you in brackets, they have written an N, which indicates noun. The next one, consume, is a verb. So in brackets, they have put a V to tell you that it is a verb, right? And they have done the same for each one of these other words. Once again, the vocabulary is concept, consume, cuisine, influence, method, portion, practice, principle, property, region, right? So these are the words that they have provided. All of these words, you can find them in the reading. And as you can see, it says, then use a dictionary to define any unknown words. So say, for example, you don't understand the meaning of the word portion or practice or method, right? You will then use a dictionary and you will look for the definition of the word. Let us now move on. Exercise D, go online to listen and practice your pronunciation. Now this instruction tells you that you can basically go online, right, if you have a Q Skills account, and you can listen and practice your pronunciation, right, how you pronounce each one of these words, right? This is reading number 2. Let's move on. Page number 36. So as you can see, reading number 2 continues throughout page number 36, and it continues through page number 37. Right, I'm going to look at exercise B now. I will explain how you will do this exercise. So it says exercise B, vocabulary. It says here are some words from reading 2. cross out the word or phrase that is different from the bold word. Now, immediately the instruction is only, let's say it's only 2 sentences, right? The first sentence tells you, here are some words from reading 2. So immediately all of these words, it tells you that all of these words, right, come from reading number 2, right? The instruction tells you, which is just 1 sentence, cross out the word or phrase that is different from the bold word. Now, in number 1, the word consume is the bold word, right? Now, the word which is different, right, is the word waste, which is B. So immediately, consume does not match with the word waste, right? It doesn't make sense. So we take the word waste, which is number B, and we cross it out. We put a line through it. A, take in, matches with consume. Eat also matches with consume, right? You can say that I consume too many calories in a day. I eat too many calories in a day. I take in too many calories in a day. So all of these words, number C and A, match with the word consume. The word waste does not match with the word consume, so we cross it out. So you are going to do each one of these in the same order. You will read number 2. Look for the word in bold. The word is influence, right? So you will look at which word does not fit and you will cross it out, right? The same as number 1, the example which is done for you. Right, so that is how you will do exercise B. Let us turn over to the next page. Exercise C, go online for more practice with the vocabulary. Right, so that is something, exercise C, you will do online on your Q Skills account. Go online for more practice with the vocabulary. We're going to look at now exercise D. Circle the answer to each question. Right, so this instruction is quite simple. Right, circle the answer to each question. All you will do in this particular exercise, you will read the question. What is the main purpose of the article? Right? You will read the 4 options that they give you and you will circle, right, the correct answer. The information for this exercise will be found in reading number 2. What is the main purpose of the article? For example, if my answer is let's see, if my answer is D, I will circle D. If my answer is C, I will circle C, right? So that is also quite self-explanatory. Circle the answer to each question. That is how you will do exercise D. Let us move on to exercise E. Read the statements, write T for true or F for false, then correct each false statement to make it true. Right, this is also quite an easy exercise. All you have to do, if you feel number 1 is true, you will write the letter T next to number 1. If you feel number 1 is false, right, you will write F next to number 1, right? That is the first thing that you will do. Write T for true or F for false next to the answer. The next part of the instruction says, then correct each false statement to make it true. So say for example, I chose number 1 to be false, right? I will then write the correct answer next to it, right? That is how I will do exercise E. Let us turn over to the next page. As you can see, it continues, number 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to look at now exercise F. Look at a student's notes from reading 2 in the box. Write the student's ideas in the Venn diagram below to compare French and Chinese cuisine. Right, so this is obviously an example of a Venn diagram, right? Generally, it's a diagram where you would find two different topics which is written together, and they would have the similarities in the middle. That is generally what a Venn diagram is. So if you look over here, critical thinking tip, activity F asks you to use a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram helps you to see similarities and differences between two topics. So that explains to you what a Venn diagram is, right? So they have taken French cuisine, they have taken Chinese cuisine, and they have written the similarities in the middle, right? So they will write the types of cuisine, right? Balance of different food regions, that is French cuisine. The similarity would be, and you would write it over here. You will choose your answer from this block, right? So I will show you the answer key, because this is an exercise which may be a little difficult for some students. Right, so as you can see, this is a quick look at the answer key, right? It says work with the reading F answers. So let's look at the first one. The first one is given to you. Number 1, balance of different food regions. They have given you number 1. Number 2, several courses, right? Number 3, small portions. The similarities, search for balance. So they both, the similarities in both is they search for balance. The next similarity which they have, food preferences affected by culture. So both French cuisine and Chinese cuisine, their similarities are they search for balance. They both search for balance. They both have food preferences affected by culture. So both French cuisine and Chinese cuisine, their food preferences are affected by culture. Right, so that is a quick look at the answer key. That is how you would do a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is to help you understand the similarities between two different topics, right? Right, so that was your answer key. Let us move on. Exercise G. Identify cause and effect relationships in the reading. Complete the sentences in your own words. Right, so cause and effect. Let's look at number 1. Because the French prefer eating several courses, right? Fast food restaurants have changed their menus, right? So the cause and effect in this particular exercise, you are going to identify the cause and effect, right? So let's look at number 1, which is the cause, right? The cause is number 1, because the French prefer eating several courses. Effect, fast food restaurants have changed their menus, right? Once again, this may be a little difficult for some students, right? So I would suggest you try answering number 2 and then have a look at the answer key, right? So let's look at this answer key. Let's just focus on number 2. Number 2 says, because traditional fast food is very simple and quick, right? Many French people dislike it. That's the answer for number 2, right? So that was a quick look at your answer key. Let us turn over to the next page. So as you can see, that particular question continues. Number 5 and number 6 continue on page 40. Let us have a look at exercise H. Check the statements you can infer from the reading. So once again, you are going to put a check in the correct block, right? You're going to choose one of the answers and you are going to put a tick or a check in the correct block. Let's look at exercise A. Write what you think. Discuss the questions in a group. Look back at your quick write on page 35 as you think about what you learned. Right, so once again, this instruction, discuss the questions in a group. You do not have to do it in a group. look back at your quick write on page 35 as you think about what you learned, right? So basically in this particular exercise, you are going to compare your answers with the quick write that you did, right? So let's look at number one. Do you prefer to eat more variety but smaller portions of food, or less variety but bigger portions, and why? Right, so that can be your personal preference, right? Let's have a look at the answer key. So as you can see in the answer key, right, we can use this as an example. Number one, I prefer more variety because it keeps my diet interesting. Different kinds of foods have different nutrients. I eat small portions because I need to limit the number of calories I eat. I also like to enjoy many different flavors in one meal. I usually eat more than 3 times a day, but I only eat a little at each meal. So as you can see in this answer, the person is writing about their opinion. This is how they prefer to eat in a day, right? So you will take this question and you will write about how you prefer eating in a day. Do you prefer eating smaller portions, right, of food? Or do you prefer eating bigger portions of food, and why, right? You have to give a reason why, right? So this is the answer key. This is the person's opinion for question number one. Question number two. Let's read the question for number two. What foods do you enjoy from cultures other than your own? How are they different from the foods you grew up with? So once again, the person writes their own opinion. I like the Chinese food called chow mein. It has a lot of noodles and vegetables and sometimes meat or chicken. Chinese dishes never have cheese or bread. In my country, we eat a lot of beans, yogurt, meat, and bread. I like our food the best, but I think Chinese food is healthier. So once again, this is the person's opinion on the question. Right, so that is how you will answer exercise A. Exercise B, before you watch the video, discuss the questions in a group. You do not need to discuss the questions in a group. You can simply read the questions, watch the video, and you can go through each question, right? Right, so it says go online to watch the video about food around the world, then check your comprehension. So obviously you will watch the video online because the instruction tells you to go online to watch the video, right? This is the vocabulary that is provided, right? You will read through the vocabulary. The first one, Inuits, which is a noun, a group of people who are native to the Arctic regions of Greenland, Canada, and the United States. Lifespan, which is a noun. The length of time that somebody lives. Process, which is a verb. To change food with chemicals before it is sold or used. Thrive, which is a verb. To grow or develop well, right? So that is the vocabulary from the video vocabulary. This is to help you understand the vocabulary which is used in the video, right? Let us turn over to the last page or the last part of the reading. Right, so we have exercise D. Think about the unit video, reading 1 and reading 2. As you discuss the questions, then choose one question and write a paragraph in response. Right, so you're just going to think about what you have learned from reading 1, what you have learned from reading number 2 and the video, right? You do not need to discuss it with a friend or a group. You can simply go through the readings again. You can watch the video again, and you can simply think about what you have learned. To help you understand what you have learned, they ask you to choose one question and write a paragraph in response. You do not need to write a big paragraph. You can simply choose a question and you can write a small paragraph. Question number 1, what makes food taste good to you? Question number 2, Which foods did you dislike as a child? Which foods do you dislike as an adult? Why do you think food preferences change as you get older? So you can simply choose one of these questions and you can write your paragraph in response. Vocabulary skill, use of context to understand words. Learning to read without stopping to look up new words can help you read faster and understand more. When reading, try to guess the meaning of a new word from context. Context refers to the other words and ideas in the sentence that are around the new word. For example, a balanced diet usually means eating more fruits, vegetables, and grains, and consuming fewer foods high in fat, sugar, and cholesterol. The context around the word consuming suggests that the sentence is about what kinds of food to eat and not eat in order to have a balanced diet. Therefore, you can guess that consuming has a similar meaning to eating. If you need to know what a word means, start by guessing from the context. If a sentence does not give enough context, then look the word up in the dictionary. So this vocabulary skill, right? I have read it for you once. I would suggest that you read it maybe a few times to understand this meaning a little better. Right, we're going to move on to exercise A. Read each sentence and try to answer the question that follows. The underlined words are for activity B on page 42. So once again, this instruction is quite easy to understand. It says read each sentence and try to answer the question that follows. You are going to read the sentences, and then this is the question. You are going to answer the question. As you can see, number 1 is done for you, right, as an example to show you how to complete this exercise. Let us turn over. So as you can see, the exercise continues, number 4, 5, and 6. Let us now move on to exercise B. Check the word or phrase that is closest in meaning to each underlined word from activity A. Look at the context to help you, right? So you're going to check the word or phrase that they give you. For example, number 1, right? Constitutes, right? Does it mean eats? Does it mean makes? You will take your pen or pencil and you will put a check in the correct box. Exercise C. Choose 4 words from activities A and B. Write a sentence using each word. So as you can see, the instruction tells you choose 4 words from activities A and B, right? So let's just say I choose the word constitutes or the word dishes. I will write it there and then I will try making a sentence with the word, right? Let's look at the answer key, use it as an example. So this is the answer key that they have provided, right? Answers will vary. You do not have to use these answers in this particular order. You can obviously use your own words from here or from the previous exercise, and you can simply make a sentence with the word that you have chosen. Right, so that wraps up unit number 2.